Okay. To the senators, not senators, but Representative House of Congress members were shot today. And the first thought from Democrats was, it's the gun's fault. Honestly, they should be blaming themselves because it was done by an anti-GOP gun control individual. It seems to me if Democrats don't get their way, they end up being violent. We saw that with Black Lives Matter, which there were some good Black Lives Matter groups. They weren't all bad, but you had a few of them that ended up getting violent because they didn't get their way. You had Mayday started as a protest, becomes a riot. Then you had Occupy Democrats protests become a riot. It's because if they don't get their way, and you had environmental people become riot, turn to rioting. The problem is, see, that's the way Democrats are. It's because they will, if they don't get their way, they become violent. And that's what happened here. And Virginia was basically a gun control nut who wanted gun control so bad, hated the Republican Party, that he was going to do anything to get his way. It's not about gun problem. It's about a people problem. And the problem we have is with Democrats. Democrats are the most violent people in the United States. Gang members affiliate with Democrats. Most of them. There are some right-wing groups like the neo-Nazis, and we know those are right-wing. But the regular gangs members like the Crips, the Bloods, and stuff like that, they associate with Democrats. And the thing is, it shows that they are violent people. Because if they don't get the way, they're going to commit violence. You got the new Black Panthers, Nation of Islam. You got all these are Democratic people. These are people, if they voted, they would vote Democrat all the dang time. Because they're called the alt-left. And you got white people like in Portland, Oregon, that killed Muslims, people protecting Muslims. Because he thought Muslims were bad, but then he was a big climate change supporter, protesting the Dakota pipeline. So, the problem is, they are the most violent people here. If we kicked out all the Democrats of the United States, we would hardly have any crime. It's not the guns, it's the freaking people. Now, there are some violent mass shooters that were right-wing, but a lot of the mass shooters were not. A lot of the mass shooters were liberals. I mean, most of them were liberal. A few of them were conservative. It's not about the gun, it's about the people problem. You don't ban guns. You don't restrict guns and say, okay, law-abiding citizens cannot carry no guns in public. Law-abiding citizens should not have guns. Well, that's the foolish crap, because that criminal is going to have a gun and get it any way possible. He won't go to gun store. Most likely he'll get it from a private seller, which you can't do nothing about private sellers, because if they sell in their own home, you have to have a warrant to go search and seizure. You can't do inspections like you do in a business, a brick-and-mortar building. When you have a brick-and-mortar building, you can go and do inspections because it's part of the licensing. So, what do we do? And I've suggested this several times, and I've said it before. Intervention programs. We need intervention programs. We need a police to do pat-downs of known felons and gang members. We need police to do stings, because that's the only exception. If an officer is going undercover and he's invited in the home and he sees somebody selling a gun, to someone that they know is a felon, then that, or mentally ill, then that officer can arrest that person. Because that sting is legal. It's legal. So that's the only exception without a warrant, is you have to have the police do a sting. And most of the guns are not sold in the home. Private sellers usually sell them out in the streets and public places. Public places, you're not protected at all. If you're selling to a known felon or a mentally ill person, then you definitely will be caught and punished. I mean, it's public place. I mean, they sell them at the schools, which is sad. But, see, that's the thing. Gun control is not going to stop people from maintaining guns and killing people. Also, we got to fix poverty. And not with welfare. You know, the first thing Democrats say, fix poverty, we need to not use welfare, but jobs. Bring back the dang jobs. We need those jobs. All the jobs left, a lot of people got broke, and all that. And we need to hire American. I don't care if the American's black, Hispanic, white, whatever. Make sure the person's American getting that job, not some illegal. And then also not bringing in all these foreigners to take those jobs. I mean, even legal immigrants coming in here, because federal wage laws, they don't, a business does not legally have to pay an immigrant even minimum wage. They can pay less than minimum wage. So they're going to hire cheap labor. I don't care what the job is, business, office, whatever. They're going to hire that person that they can not have to pay minimum wage to. So, honestly, infrastructure. A big part of it, infrastructure. We need to fix the roads, the streets, the highways. We need to make the cities look good. That has an impression too. Honestly, if you see us in shambles, you're going to not think much of yourself, because the city's in shambles. The streets are in shambles. The buildings are in shambles. And that's why I like Donald Trump's $1 trillion infrastructure plan. I mean, to me, that is great. Because it honestly, it's going to fix the roads, the streets, the highways, the airports, the trains. I mean, especially in New York, where Amtrak's been going off the tracks. That needs to be done. And Donald Trump has a plan for that. And Democrats should get on board on this. I mean, especially that infrastructure bill. Because it may be blocked by Republicans. I am not kidding. There are some conservative Republicans in the Freedom Caucus. And they're planning to block the infrastructure bill because they say it's too much money. Only problem is, it's going to take that $1 trillion to fix the infrastructure. And Donald Trump knows that, so he's going to have to rely on Democrats, at least on that. So Democrats need to come, at least the Democratic politicians, need to come forward to make sure that bill gets passed. Because it won't get passed if it don't have Democratic support, because of the fact those 20 Republicans in the Freedom Caucus are all about money. And that's all they care about. So, I mean, it does have some private financing, but it's going to take some taxpayer dollars too. And that's what he said. It's going to be a combination. So,